What's up, Tallywhackers? Doing something different. Said that before, but this time it's truly different. We're gonna redo my boat. This is a 2018 low 2072 or 2070 Big River, low roughneck. I bought this thing in 2017. I actually ordered it from the dealer or from the manufacturer and had it shipped to the nearest dealer to me, which was Malone Motorsports in Monroe. But I went ahead and already cleaned out everything that was not bolted down. Pretty much this boat is a lot like when I first bought it, minus the engine, which I bought from a guy that upgraded his engine on his pontoon. So I bought this thing, I paid 900 bucks for it. It's been a super good engine, runs really nice. And when I bought it, I noticed that I think the lower unit has been replaced. That's good. It's got a new prop on it. Had a new prop on it when I bought it. It does not have power tilt and trim, which I wish it did, but it does not. That's a 70 horse Evinrude 1979 model. But it's got obviously remote steering and controls, and I built this center console quite some time ago. Took a little bit of effort. Took me probably about a day to build it. I put a battery underneath. There's a fire extinguisher. The controls are actually on there backwards. They're mounted backwards, but they work. They should be mounted on the other side of the controls, but we're gonna fix that. Some pole holders. And I also added cleats. I like this style of cleat. They work actually really quick. I like how they work, and you can double them up by running this and running it straight over to the other cleat is like a backup. Other than that, I haven't done anything to this boat. I just dropped my fuel cell down in here, which I already removed, and my start battery over there, which I already removed. The only thing I had hooked up to the battery was the engine. So pretty simple and plain Jane. So my plan is, step one, get it in the garage. Check, done that. Difficult, barely fit. Had to pull my car out, and my car's gonna have to stay outside until, well, either A, I pull this back outside or it's done, one of the two, but we'll figure that out as the time comes. Step two was to get everything out of it that was not bolted down, which I did that. Put a lot of that in the in my shed. Otherwise, just random things around here. What I have bought for this boat is not this. This is a tail light for a Kia. 2 new battery boxes. I'm gonna get 2 new batteries, which I haven't got yet. Power outlets, USB charging ports. This is a fuse block with wiring. A steering wheel. This is a Bimini top. Obviously, universal rotary steering system. I can read. Gosh, all these years. That's what this is. Shorter cable, because I'm going to go with a different style console, which I'll show you. This reseal kit for the lower unit. I think that's navigational lights. Front navigational light. Wire connectors and terminals. My console that I built. It's not done yet. It's got to be painted and whatnot, but it's got a bracket on the side. Actually, this thing turned out better than I thought it was going to. As you can tell, my console is a lot smaller, so my plan is tear all this out, open this whole thing back up. The console will go somewhere in here. I got to gather up all these parts. I've been collecting parts for 4 or 5 years now. It's 2022. I bought this thing in 2017. So that's just kind of how I do it cheaply. I round up things, find them at garage sales, pick them up out of the garbage, or find them on the side of the road. I spot it, I got to have it, especially if it's free. So sounds like a lot of stuff, but I think it can all be done in a fair amount of time. let's just get into it. I think first thing we're going to do is we're going to tear out the console and get rid of everything that's bolted on, minus the engine. We're going to keep the engine on there, get rid of the wiring and get everything out of the way and out of the boat. And then after that, we're going to clean the boat. We're going to clean the inside and kind of see what we're working with and start mocking stuff up. Well, I guess I'm just going to walk around and start cutting zip ties. At least get that part done and out of the way right away. That makes it smell good in here. You should try it sometime. We are going to start taking stuff apart. Got out the old power drill so I don't have to turn all these things out by hand. Went ahead and got me a tool pile over there and a screw jar. So I guess let's just start taking stuff off. All right, I got most of that tore apart. I gotta get this cable off here, pull it out of that, and get it off the console there. So we'll take this nut off and take that dude apart. Yeah, that's close enough. Oh, it's gonna turn hard the whole way. I mean, I don't blame it. I'd hate for that nut to fall off. Boy, that would suck, wouldn't it? This thing should be pretty much ready to come out. Besides this nut right here, we'll have to take this nut off. It's not hand tight, so I gotta find something for that. It should pop right out. Oh yeah, comes right out of there. All right, this thing's down to bare bones. It was good to me for a while, but boy, oh boy, this thing is just not good. It's really rotted out down here. I mean, extremely rotted out down here. So it's got to go. Hey, my brother came out. Help me take the center console out. I guess we'll start clearing some stuff out of here, unscrew those things there. I need another PBR and start unloading this stuff outside of the boat. Once there's nothing screwed to this inside of this boat, I don't need tools right now. I actually need to clean this thing out, get these life jackets out while I'm standing here so I don't have to make an extra trip. Just finishing up sweeping. All right, well, we're gonna work on the console now that the boat is cleaned out for the most part. Clean enough for me to work. I'm gonna make a mess in there anyway, but we're gonna do like I said. I'm gonna take some liquid nails. I don't know which one to get, but this is the extreme heavy duty. Yeah, that should be good enough. And fill all these seams in. Because like I said, I welded this thing from the inside and then filed all this stuff down, any high spots. I figure if I caulk this really well, all these seams, it'll make it look like it was welded from the outside. I'll put all these nuts and bolts back so I don't lose them. There, all better. Jeez, this thing's stiff. Wants to open up.
That should do it. Just do it. You shoot it, and you never will stop. Just go on.
Okay, it's a little darker over on this end of the boat, but now we're going to install the front light. This sucker's cheaper than all get out, but I don't know, we're going to try it. Green on the right, red on the left, so that looks good. Drill 3 holes and screw it in here. And then I got to take this front panel off right here. So I found this, I took this cover off, obviously. This is a different angle. I'm standing outside the boat, but I found this guy here, and it runs all the way to the back of the boat. I'm guessing it's for electrical, so I'm going to shove all my electrical stuff. Well, I'm trying to shove all my electrical stuff in here. So I got me a stiffer piece of wire. I think I'm going to run a pre-wire and hook up what I need to and pull it through and just go from there. I'm thinking I should run an extra set of positive and negative for future use. Be the smart thing to do. But first off, I got to try and get this in here. I thought that was kind of nifty that I found that thing though, so this is going to save me some ugly conduit running alongside of this gun whale, or trying to use my gun whale was another thought to run my wires through. So I just don't want any wires touching the hull, and that's kind of hullish-y, you know, it's attached to the hull. But anyway, let's try and feed this guy back down in through here. What's it hitting? There's no way. I don't know how to get this through here. I don't know what to do. What do you shove through there? Do I use a rope? Do I use a small ball of paper towel wrapped around the fish string and use a vacuum to suck it through and have fish string on through the whole thing? I mean, that's what I'm down to. That's what I'm thinking of freaking using. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. Well, I've tried about everything to shove through this conduit thing. I'm guessing it's to run electric up from the front of the boat to the back of the boat. But I can't get anything far enough before it starts binding up. I've tried a few different wires. I've tried some piano wire, some wire that cuts out glass in vehicles. So I got a vacuum out and I taped the end of it to that end over there. I got me some fishing string. I think I'm going to shove some fishing string down in there and see if that'll work. I don't know if I should put something on the end of this. Or do you think it'll suck it all the way up and out? I'm thinking I should put something on the end of this so it has something to suck on. A little bit more small piece of cotton of sorts. Just a small piece. I don't know. I don't really know. I've tried about everything. I'm spending more time on this than anything else so far. Just trying to get something through this conduit so I can pull something through. I'd really like to use it for my wires. I think it'll be a lot slicker than, and it'll look better, more professional. Once you get the double knot in there, you're home free, but it's all loosey-goosey until then. Just tie a knot a few times. I don't know. They're not even good knots. I'm hoping this thing just gets sucked right down through this dang thing. But knowing my luck, it ain't gonna make it. But we're gonna freaking try. We are going to try. So let's get this booger out here. Oh, just about made it in there. Look at that. Start this vacuum up. See if it's sucking anything. Ooh. Oh, it likes it. It likes it a lot. I would guess that's the end. I think it went all the way through. Nothing there. Huh. Well, I hope it went all the way through. It would suck if it didn't. Hey, look at that. Look at that. There it is. There it is. Okay, so let's pull something a little bit stronger back through so I don't have to rely on the 8-pound test to pull through wires. So I don't have to do this again. All right. And that dog over there is going to start barking at me. Can't even see me. You can just hear me. Wires are ran through there. We've already gone over that. Now we're going to try and geez, this is really thin. You don't need to be very thick though. It's just not very thick wire at all. It's probably fine. Connect this to the light. I ran an extra set for future use, so I don't have to go through that again. If all else fails, I'll use what's in here to run new wire. Don't pull it out without tying a new one to it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I know it's virtually impossible to go over all this and make it a, you know, a short enough video for somebody to watch. I could break this up in segments, but I really don't want to. I kind of go from start to finish and make it one whole video. You know, maybe if I was smart, I'd break it up into 4 or 5 videos, you know, so I have more videos. But, you know, this is all for my educational purposes for the most part, and maybe somebody else's, because maybe they like the way I did it, the way it's set up. I don't know. It's not very difficult. I'd like to use a dual pair of dikes. I guess that's a little tip, unless you got a really, really good pair of electrical crimper majogger guys. But I do not have a really good pair. The pair I have sucks. Seems like when I crimp any size, it doesn't matter. The wire is always a different size that I'm putting in to this, and that crimper deal only crimps it down so far. And sometimes these wires just pop right out. And it sucks. Another thing I like to do, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I fold my wire over. It was twice as long, but I folded it over. So that way, when it's crimped on there, you know, at yay point or whatnot, it's really hard to pull that wire over that hump, I should say. That's why I do that. I don't have much problem doing it this way. Dual pair of dikes, not too tight, because obviously a dual pair will still cut, and I pull on it a little bit. Good enough. That end is done. Well, it looks like this thing is pretty dry. I'm going to paint this thing, but I'm not going to paint it right now. Another tip, put that upside down for a little while. If I paint it right now, it's going to stink up to high heaven, probably get me higher and I'll get out. So I don't want to have to vacate the premises quite yet, and I don't need fumes since I plan on using the whole can going into my fire, drifting in here and exploding my garage. So I'll wait until this fire dies down. I'm going to try and put this front panel back on, which looks like it's not going to be very fun. And then maybe paint this do jobber and vacate the premises and come back out here tomorrow. So let's just start with that. Last bolt, or last screw. All right. Warmed me up putting all these in by hand. Now I've been to quite a few places, and this is the closest I can come to that. I know it's a little light, but if you look in other spots, It just kind of, I mean, I'm not real sure. This is the closest I can come. I can't get any closer than that from what I've been looking. I did not go to Lowe's website. I did not check online, which I probably should have, but you know, it doesn't really matter to me too much. We're gonna paint this thing, get a good solid coat on it, and step outside for a little while. Well, it's the next day. I finally got this console painted. It didn't turn out too bad for the most part. I don't think. I mean, kind of wanted to make it look like it was welded of sorts, you know, from the outside. I don't know. It didn't turn out too bad for the most part. Color is about as close as I can get to the boat as possible. Which it's close, but it's not spot on. So basically, I'm to the point now, I think I need to get, hey, there you are. I need to get the console on the boat and measure up the control cables, because I'm buying new control cables and kind of rebuilding my controls for the outboard. But I got to get that on today, measure that stuff up, and finish getting the rest of my parts. I wasn't sure how long the cables I needed. I wanted to make sure that they were right. So let's get that on there, get the steering wheel on it, in it, and the steering cable hooked up, and kind of where exactly I need to put this thing. So that's the next step. So let's just go ahead and start getting it done. Okay, feels nice. Let's not drop this thing. Boy, it don't look good on the inside. Like I said, it's strong, it ain't gonna break, but that's why I welded the inside instead of the outside, because I was worried that I wasn't gonna make it look the best. And I was right, but it is what it is, and it's done. So let's get the rest of the pieces here. This one for now. I'm gonna get me some nice looking bolts for this thing. This thing is just out of the way. That center console took up so much space. This is gonna be nice having this on the side. All right. I'm going to put a bench seat in here all the way across, I think, and I want to make it the height of a step as well. Obviously this board will have to be cut down, but looking for a place to put my second battery. Original plan was put them both in here, but it doesn't fit all the way to the ground because of the handles. So I think I'm going to, these were cheap off Amazon, I'm going to try and fabricate them to fit all the way down in there so I could put both batteries back there. So let's get to cutting one of these up and see what happens. Got them both to fit in here. Ended up cutting off the sides. Cut the handle off and then cut the little hump out off the end here. We'll take some tin on the inside. You won't see this anyway. I didn't want to have to do this, but this is what we did. Jacob actually cut them out. Get a piece of tin on the inside and screw it to it and silicone it so water don't get in there. But you won't see it. I like how they fit in there. I like how both of them fit in there. And both batteries back here. It's gonna be nice. All right, that's done. We're not gonna do any wiring until this bench seat's done. That's the biggest thing. Get this bench seat in. I have to build a bracket for my controls. And then start the wiring. Pretty self-explanatory, so let's get this thing built and in there. I think this is what I'm going to do for the ends, for the front of my board. That way I can screw it to the boat. You know, support the whole front of that board / step. But I might end up cutting this tip off. I'm not 100% sure yet. That's why I made that mark, but I'm not sure. But we're going to do the other side over here. Actually measured wrong, so good thing I measured twice. I need to go on the outside cut here. But let's get this side done and start test fitting some stuff. That's what's keeping us warm in here today. Just don't tell anybody. Got this thing pretty much cut up. Got both these ends good. We'll drill some holes in here, screw it to the side of the boat, support the whole front of this board. But I got to notch them out, both sides, so that piece actually fits flush up against this board. Let's notch those out. All right, notch both sides, obviously. I'm gonna see if this thing fits, see if it fits properly. Are you in there all the way? Mm-hmm. That's what it takes to get me in.
Pushes me out, Judge.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you looking like over here? Okay, so that's still sticking out past. So I think I'm going to dig a bunch of this out because I'm going to need it anyway for the screw heads, and just make these notches even deeper.
You can pocket those out. just about there.
All right, sweet. Oh, it's already got holes in the bottom of this to screw it to it. Don't even have to drill those. That's not a bad find for in the dumpster, considering that thing was 13 feet long. 13-foot piece of angle aluminum. Stuff ain't cheap, especially a piece that long. So, and we cut it, so now it's worth less. Do that to it. Don't have to look perfect, but I want this thing painted to match the boat, like the console and stuff like that. All right, a little update of where we're at. My brother left. Ended up taking this piece off. I think I might have mentioned that, I'm not sure. Painted it, went to lunch, came back. I just put it on. I'm not painting that piece. It really doesn't need to be painted. It's got some funny fuzzy stuff on it. This is actually a window or a door sash or a case for a storm door, a part of one that I ripped down, cut. I thought it'd be pretty easy to get that on there, and it was. It saved me some money on some material. I am eventually going to wrap this with some carpet that matches the bunks, which is going to be just black. Some fine knit carpet that's black or charcoal colored, and just lay it back down in there and screw it in. But I'm actually going to put this in the boat now temporarily and screw it in from the bottom up with my screw gun there. I call that good for now, and I'm going to move on to something else. So let's just get that done and move on to the next task. Cutting a kerf like that is amazing on how straight you can actually get with a hacksaw. I'm telling you what, if you just go like this and try and cut that straight line, it ain't gonna happen. But if you cut long ways and make your kerf right exactly where you want to cut it, money. And be light at the end. Perfect. It's about as straight as you're gonna get with a hacksaw. I don't care who you are. Here's a tip you might not have seen. That's an onion, and I tell you what, it smells phenomenal in here. Man, I like onions though. I mean, if you don't like onions, I don't care. That's just more onions for me. That smells fantastic. Another trick too, if you like it, you might. I guess it's a acquired smell. When I get done with my beer and there's just a little bit left to spit, dump it on the top of the fire. Man, what a smell that is too, man. It smells good. Cool. It kind of went without a hiccup. It doesn't look too bad either. I don't know. It screws down in here. Oh, move the cable. Might be able to see the screws I put down here on this flat. Yeah, worked pretty good. A couple little S-shaped dudes or whatever, Z-shaped almost. Drilled holes in the side of my boat. Dang it. I got holes over here. Should be alright though. I don't know. Don't look that bad. Can always touch those up with paintbrush and this paint. Matches it okay. It's not bad. It's not dead on, but man, it's not bad at all. This thing is starting to come around. I'm liking the driving area. Alright, now I gotta see if I can find my bilge pump. I'm gonna go out to the garage, see if I can find it. Boy, it took me a while, but I found it. This is an older one. It's used, but it was free. And it works. Because I tested it. And I also found a piece of hose with a 90 on it. So, it should be pretty good. We're just going to rig it up down there somewhere in the darkness. And pump some stuff out of this boat when it needs to be done. That's the plan, so let's get this thing installed. we got these in there. Not too shabby, I'd say. I kind of like it. Oh, we got a lot of electrical work to do, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right. Well, it turns out I can keep these cables if I loop them like so, and I figured I'd just probably tuck them underneath these holders. I don't know. I'm also thinking I might be able to swing it and tuck them down in there, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't gotten that far, but it's unsightly a little bit, but they'll work. And then loop this guy up as well for the motor here from the controls. It's a little unsightly, but I can clean it up for the most part. It's not that bad. So all I got to do is run some conduit now in a couple different places. Do some plumbing on the water pumper guy, and get my electrical work done. And I'm pretty far ahead here. Basically be pretty well ready to go. Sweet. Well, I'm going to call her a day today. I'll get back at it maybe through the week this week. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe next weekend. I don't really know, but I really want to get this boat out of my garage so I can get my car back in here. That's my main concern. So I got my car out here in the backyard covered up back here. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, but it is what it is. Hopefully it stays covered. It's supposed to rain and snow. Got 2 covers on it, so it should be good. But anyway, we're going to call it a day today, and we'll be back at it. Well, it's been a while since I've been recording. I've actually spent the last week, since last weekend, doing electrical work on this bad dog. So that was a grueling task, soldering everything and running wires. But basically it's done. I got a couple things to put on here, but it turned out okay. I got my board here installed. That's just a light hanging out, but finally put my center cap on. Yay. But used a piece of PEX in here. It's underneath this here, but a piece of PEX worked pretty good. Worked real good for conduit for all my wires, but I got my lights wired up. I put these guys on. These are going to be awesome for a reverse light. And I can reach it over here, you know, just doop doop, and turn my reverse lights on. Got one battery installed, fusible length right off the bat, power to the dude up there, and then my you can't see it very well, but bilge pump is wired in. Got my boat wired up. Built me a bracket, which I didn't have before, for my cables going to my motor here, and use zip ties. I'm going to clean some of this up, but I'm trying to think of something better. I don't know if you can comment down below, but I'm going to leave this for now. Just zip ties wrapped on this cable here. Well, all the cables, I should say, steering cables, controls, and everything. I want to get something a little bit more dressier for that, but I'm just not sure yet. Got my rear cleats on both sides. Yeah, looking pretty awesome. Electronics wires ready to go. I got a little light down here I was going to put underneath the dash for night, obviously, or I can shine it in the day. Doesn't matter. I went and got me a seat. I knew I was going to put 2 seats in here, or actually I knew I was going to put at least 1 seat right here on this side for my son and my dad, stuff like that. But it turns out that seat will fit over there too. So I'm going to buy another one, and I'll have 2 seats back here, and obviously in between I'll have a step so I can get back to fishing poles, which I'm going to build some homemade rod holders on both sides, some triples, so I can have 6 poles out off the back of the boat. And then I got a couple other ones I can attach off to the sides here for trolling and whatnot. But that's going to be another video. That's going to be a complete other video. But today's goal is to get this seat in here and tidy up my electrical stuff. I got to install this as well. Got me a horn, Amazon special. It's a regular car horn, which is going to be fine. Main toggle switch. I bought 2 because it was like, whoops, 2 for the price of 1. This is going to turn off the main power straight to the board up there. I don't want it live all the time. And then a spare fuse for my main power line. And a horn button. Honk honk. Get that installed. Get this underneath the dash. Get this installed. Get this stuff wired up. I'm going to be golden. I can finally get this thing out of my garage. And just get it out of my garage so I can get my car back in here. And outside I can pull off the lower unit, which is going to be a separate video as well. Resealing that and cleaning it up and putting new fluid in it and making it new again, so get many years of life out of that guy there. But that's it. I got a lot of this wiring done, so let's finish up and just go from there. And that should basically conclude the video as soon as I get this stuff done and this thing out of the garage. So it's gonna be a long one to edit, but I'm okay with that. Let's just get at it. All right, we got quite the wiring mess going on down here, but I left her loose so I can figure this out. Went ahead and put my fuse down in there. It's a moment of truth here. I believe it's off. I'm guessing because I don't have any power, but I added a switch here, which is going to be over here. So I turn it on. Oh, yep. Oh, yeah. Tells me what my voltage is. Bilge pump. Bilge pump works. What's this guy? Fish finder, I bet. That one is, oh, that light. Little under dash light. Those my reverse lights. Cool. This must be nav lights. Oh yeah, nav lights. Nav lights, sweet. Now does my horn work? I'm a horn button guy. Oh yeah, horn works. Awesome. All right, let's button all this stuff up, get these little switch doojabs in here and clean this up. Get the battery on the charger. Start working on that seat. Get that seat in here and I'm done. All right, well, I'm officially done with all this. Everything's zip tied back up in there nicely. I got my stub out here for my electronics, fish finder, depth finder, whatever, my hummingbird. And got the battery out. It's actually charging. I think is what I'll do is I'll just tuck these dudes in here and put the cover on, put my straps on, and yeah, that's done. 100% done. Now I'm going to work on getting my seat in here I don't know if I'm going to put it in here this winter or just get it ready to bolt down so that that thing ain't outside all winter. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just get the holes drilled and whatnot and ready to mount, and probably just go ahead, take the same seat, move it over to the other side, and get those holes drilled and ready to mount, because I'm going to end up buying another one of those seats. Cool. Well, I think that's going to do it. That's going to conclude this video, I think, because I'm pretty much done. The bimini top and the rod holders are going to be 2 separate videos, so I don't know. Those will probably be in spring, but I've got to get this boat out of here so I can get my car back in here and get my Jeep in here. All right. Well, I hope you liked the different kind of video I did this time. It's probably going to be a lot more work involved in editing this thing. This is a little bit more what I'm familiar with. I do like to fish. Probably not very good at fishing, but I love fishing and being outside. But I am excellent with my hands, and that's what I do, man. I make things work. I fabricate things. I build things. I fix things. I just got a knack for it, but we'll see. Oh, and another video that'll be coming out too is I'm going to reseal this lower unit. But next year, like I said, hope you enjoyed this content, and until next time, thanks for watching Tally Go.